Okay, hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me this morning or this afternoon, beaming in from wherever you are in the world. My name is Patrick Foley Donoghue, and this is just a quick and insightful information session about the University of Tasmania and the island state into which we reside. So thank you again for joining. I've got a lot to get through. So let's check out the agenda for today. So today we'll cover quite a few things. There'll be a general just COVID-19 update from Tasmania and Australia. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the island, which I call my home, the Tasmania. Then I'll move in a little bit to talk about the university itself, the University of Tasmania, some field trips, some of the real punchy, hard-hitting programs that we have. Then we'll meander through what it's like to be on campus. I'll talk a little bit about the clubs, accommodation and support services. Of course, the all-important steps of how to apply and the program costs. And we'll round out with any questions at the end. Alrighty. So just a general COVID-19 update. As it stands, the Australian borders remain closed to non-citizens and permanent residents, which means that we're unable to receive students at this time. But obviously, these sorts of sessions are all about planning for the future and starting to work out what might be possible. So whilst it's unlikely that the borders will be open for semester 1, 2022, which will be February to June, we're looking at the semester 2, which is Northern Hemisphere, you'd call that fall. And that will start in July and then roll right the way through to November. We hope to accept international students come Sem 2. So a little bit about the island. We have a video on our fair. I won't share that now just because it's a little bit too passive even for me. So we'll roll on right through and we'll talk a little about the geography. Let's play a geography game. So this is a map of Australia that you have on your screen with some of the major metropolitan hubs, major city centres, the main capital cities. So we've got Darwin, Cairns, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, Canberra, Alice Springs, Perth. So where's Tasmania on this map? Now you can't find it because it's not there, but lo and behold, off the southeast corner, we have Hobart, Tasmania. So Hobart, the capital city of Tassie. That's where I'm currently beaming to you from. So let's talk a little bit about that. So there are two main cities. There's Launceston and Hobart. The population of Tasmania, broadly speaking and roughly speaking, is about 500,000, so 500,000. The population of Launceston is 100,000, whilst the population of Hobart, Greater Hobart, is 220. So that's just sort of giving you an indication of the feel, I suppose, the vibe, the amount of different friendly faces you can expect to see. Hi, Sunny, welcome. So when we're talking about Tasmania and its proximity, so it's roughly 1 hour from Melbourne by plane, 1.5 hours from Sydney, and 6 hours from New Zealand. So this is just a little snapshot of Tasmania, the place. Just a little bit of background, just setting some context. All of these photos are actually from students who've studied with us at UTAS, which is pretty cool. So different study abroad and exchange students. So a couple of fast fun facts about Tasmania. So it's affectionately known as Tassie. So if I accidentally drop that in there, then that's just my common tongue, I suppose. Another fun fact: just under 50% of the island is either national park or World Heritage listed. So super duper green. So as you can see from this sort of picture, it's a really sort of classic image, I suppose, of some people going for a bushwalk into the ranges with and the water in the background. So giving Canadians a run for their money, Tasmania boasts some of the cleanest air of any inhabited place on Earth. So getting your basics right. And it's really where, you know, the forest and mountains sort of meet the sea. So there's all sorts of different things outside, you know, the great outdoors. So students that come and study with us, you know, they get into surfing, snorkeling, hiking, skiing, and it's all sort of condensed in this one state, which is, you know, just makes it terrific and easy to get around. So again, this is just a way and means for us to share a little bit about Tasmania. So, you know, there's so much to do and see. I've sort of like written you a little bucket list. The first thing sometimes it comes to mind for people when they're thinking Australia and Tasmania is, you know, the natural wildlife. So there's Junee on Maria Island, just you know, getting up and close and personal with the wildlife. That's a wombat. And so, in that same breath, yeah, a big part of what's extraordinary, I'd say, about Tasmania is just how you come across wildlife, you know, in the streets, sort of thing. So you can see some koalas. The Tasmanian devil, made famous by Looney Tunes. So Taz, that creature that spins around. So those guys are at a safe distance there. And that's Maria. She was from Mexico. That's just a kangaroo, I suppose, giving her a little kiss, or maybe having a bite of her head, eating some hair. Tasmania is also a massive like festival state, which is probably one of the many reasons I've stuck around. So each year annually, we have a music festival called Falls. And it's right next to this fantastic beach, Marion Bay, which you'll have to check out on Google Maps, get into some imagery, have a mosey about. But it's just an absolute if that doesn't incite some wanderlust in you, I don't know what will. It's just one of the biggest and best festivals that I know. So it's a fantastic festival, landing right on bringing in the New Year's. Something else really unique and special to the Southern Hemisphere, but then specifically Tasmania. There's the Aurora Australis and bioluminescence, so sea plankton. So the Aurora Australis, like the Northern Lights, the Southern Lights, you know, it's essentially, it's a beautiful aesthetic, but it's the sky is ablaze with different colors. So if you're into your photography or you're into your exploring, getting out there, sort of seeing these natural wonders and beauties, then it's really breathtaking. That middle shot is a photo from Mount Wellington, which looks over the city-state of Hobart, which is where I live. And it's just, you know, you can go up there and sort of experience these magical, colorful lights. I take it for granted because I call this my backyard, but it really is something very special. And the third one, this is really, really cool. Is I think there's a sort of reference to it maybe in The Life of Pi, but bioluminescence is a phenomenon, an algae that if you throw a rock into the water, it glows blue. And this is a regular occurrence. You can go down to the beach while it's raining and it'll just create these like magical little blue ripples, or you could be like this person and just jump right in, and it's something else. Words can't really capture it. So I'm the study abroad and exchange coordinator at UTAS. I look after all the incoming study abroad students, and you know, I put on different sort of events. So that's pretty awesome. You'd be blessed if you come and study at UTAS to meet and hang out with me. I'm really into my surfing, so I arrange for students to go on a surf trip as a part of their orientation. So there's a crew of students being legends, having a good time. You know, occasionally we get a few photos in from students being like, look how far I've come, which is pretty exciting. And yeah, I guess you just got to choose the day to go out, because the waves can get pretty out of control pretty fast. It's just choose your standard, choose your level, I suppose. Something else that put Tassie on the map, if you're into your arts and your culture, more events and activities. Mona, it's the largest private collection in the Southern Hemisphere, which is a private collection of art. So you can catch a ferry out to it. It's an island off an island off an island. So Australia, Tasmania. It's just stunning. It's got such a hilarious, like the owner's this eccentric millionaire who's how he came by his money. I won't get into, but they just put on 2 annual festivals and have an incredible art collection, live bands. It's such a cool space. I can't capture that enough. With without getting too excited. So it's something to check out. Really, it's something else. And then there's also this sort of vibrancy, this what would you call it? This different sort of markets, restaurants, and bars. But it's the natural produce in Tasmania, the standard of living, the lifestyle, the food, the markets, the sort of community feel is all sort of tied together every Saturday when every rich person sort of comes together and goes to the Saturday market, which is just this massive phenomenon that's been going on since the beginning of time. So food and produce, it's you know, I'm a firm believer in the saying, "You are what you eat." So go to the Disco Inferno pizzeria, get some delicious pizza in you. And there's heaps of different bars if that's what you're into. It's a photo of one of my mates at Rude Boy, one of the barmen. So yeah, just it's a great culture, it's great food, it's a great lifestyle, I suppose. So that's a little bit about Tassie, but you're here maybe to learn a bit about the university. So this is Kalia, Canada. She was here back at the end of 2019. Bit of a student hiatus since then. So look, why choose the University of Tasmania? So the University of Tas is #1 in the world for Southern Ocean research. Why is that? Because we're in the Southern Ocean. So of course, we're world leaders in that field. We're very aware of the university and where it's placed on the globe. And that's what we research our own backyard. We're a world ranking university. We're in the top 2% universities worldwide. What does that mean? It means we've got teaching excellence. So we've got fantastic classrooms run by professional and passionate teachers, academics, professors, whatever you want to call them. But then those teachers themselves are actually conducting research, which is, groundbreaking and leading in their field. I talked about lifestyle, but Lonely Planet, I don't know, it's a bit old fashioned, books and stuff, but has ranked Tassie consistently in the top 4 must visit destinations in the world. So no big deal, but we're getting world recognition for tourism. And then of course, got those sandstone buildings. So we're the 4th oldest university in Australia, which is pretty cool. So if you're rolling around campus, you can be like, nice, okay. We've got some old groovy sandstone buildings. It just sort of has some haughty swagger to it, I suppose. So again, when we're talking about rankings, world rankings, what are you studying? And you just want to make sure that your programs are well funded and well taught, right? So we're ranked 4th in the world for marine and freshwater biology. So if that floats your boat, then we're world renowned for that. 7th in the world for oceanography and fisheries. So that's important because, well, it bundles up with how we interact with the weather, but then also fisheries, for instance, sustainable fisheries, how we're feeding the world for years to come. So, food shortages, global crises, how are we responding to those and making sure that everyone doesn't go hungry. So very important stuff. I talked about Tasmania being a super green place. The blue and green sciences is certainly an area which we excel. We're also, in the top 50, we're number 44 in the world for agriculture and forestry. So, I mean, that makes sense in what I've already said. And it just so happens if you're a law student, we're ranked 61 in the world for law. So we definitely punch above our weight when it comes to university rankings. But pulling back the curtain on that, what does that mean? It just means that the classrooms are small, the teachers are personable, and the courses that you'll be studying are are world-renowned, well-funded. So how do we break up our curriculum? I don't want this to be snoring boring. There's a photo of the IXL Jam House. So what that is, that's Hunter Street campus where our fine arts students study. It's incredible. It's by the waterfront. And it's a really inspiring place. So that's me speaking to the photo first. But UTAS colleges, right? So we've broken the colleges down into 4. A simple way of seeing that is there's a College of Science and Engineering. So we clump those students together. Business and economics, hopefully that makes sense, them being lumped together. The College of Arts, Law, Education. The name is kale, which is like that healthy vegetable that some people put in their smoothies. So arts, social sciences, humanities, law, those sorts of prestige programs, and of course education. So teaching the next generation of teachers. and then the College of Health and Medicine. So different colleges, right? Different, depending on your program, you'll fall into one of those colleges. We also have specialist schools and institutes. So there's IMAS, the Institute of Marine and Antarctic Sciences or Studies. IMAS, I mean, Tasmania being located so far south, we're really a gateway to the Antarctic. We have the Aurora Australis, or the Icebreaker, which is this giant, iconic, I'd say orange vessel. I think I'll have to put a shot in there of it because it's incredible. It's a beast. With IMAS, we're sort of doing world-leading research in the marine studies, but then also studying Antarctica, which is just very cool and unique. We also have AMC, so that's our school for marine logistics management. So again, we're world-leading in the maritime colleges. Then we've got the Menzies Institute for Medical Research. So that's doing again, that's placed in the centre of Hobart, and that's the again, more world-leading research into the medical sciences. So some photos of some students, Renee from the UK and the gang. So we have heaps and heaps of different classes. The University of Tasmania is the only university in the state of Tasmania, which means we have to train up the next generation. We sustain the state. Everything that the state needs to function and keep going, we need to be able to teach and teach well. So I'd say there's at least 60 different fields and counting, but look, from the top to bottom, we've got accounting, Antarctic sciences, architecture, right the way through to wilderness studies. So if you're studying, depending on whether or not it's undergraduate or postgraduate, we've got a course for you. We've got programs. We've got what we call units, what you might call modules. So different classes, different horses for different courses. Yeah, different programs. For students who do come and study with us on a study abroad program, we get you all a hoodie, which is a nice touch, I suppose. So there's the gang just representing the red lion on their chest. Alrighty, so when you're getting out there, when you arrive in Tasmania on a study abroad program, you'll have a choice. You'll be able to choose some interdisciplinary classes, some things to do with your major, and some other classes that might just be some free choice fun electives. So this is Patrick from Denmark, great guy. He decided to really put himself in the deep end. He did like this aqua scuba diving field trip. So again, Tasmania, we really mean it when we say our island is your campus. We want to get you out there and experiencing and engaging with the world around you, the society and the environment. So we offer heaps and heaps of different field trips, and it depends really on what you're into. So these the trips can last from anything from a day trip. You catch a bus out to destination X and come back at the end of the day and write a journal or blog or whatever. Or they could be 2 weeks, so you could actually be a placement somewhere on the island. We are conducting research and doing some studies. So really, it's just about getting you out there into breathtaking locations whilst also getting credit back towards your degree. So again, soak up the pictures. Hopefully they tell 1,000 words. This is the Painted Cliffs on Maria Island, which I recently visited myself. And again, an island off an island off an island. But yeah, students just soaking up the sun, having a bit of beach time. It's a real spectacle. If you're into your biology, studying plants and botany, then Kunanyi. So you can see on this picture, Luke is looking back. You can just see the campus from there. You've got the bridge, but yeah, getting you out there and getting you studying. You can also study the geography of island places. So we're very aware we're an island. That could be isolating, or it could be something that we share with so many places. What's your scope? There are so many islands, big and small. So this is a bunch of students who came with me on a field trip back at the end of 2019. But yeah, there you go. There's also the geography of island places on Bruny Island. So lots of islands, you're getting that. Tectonics and volcanology and Rocky Cape. There's Paulina from Mexico having a great time, just sponging it up. So loads and loads of different field trips. Talking a little bit about life on campus. So during orientation, we want students to meet and greet, mingle, and socialize, right? So a great way to do that is by joining a club or society. The Tasmanian University Student Association, TUSA, has over 100 different clubs and societies. So you can be affiliated with them as a part of your UTAS degree. Generally speaking, we have study abroad and exchange students joining for a small fee, and it's just a great way to see the island and meet different people. I think this in particular is Bonorong Conservation Wildlife Reserve, which is where they rescue injured animals and look after them until they're better. So there's Chelsea. She's hand feeding a roo, which is pretty standard practice in Tassie. So yeah, there's really something for everyone. All the different programs, again, it's over 100. So who likes a list? I do. But there's, again, I said something for everyone. There's right the way through from acrobatics. Bushwalking is really popular. Try something, strange and new or extreme. You could do some abseiling down the side of a mountain. There's theatre clubs, rugby. When I went on an exchange program, I just did more of the same. I think I did a yoga class. I was part of the yoga society and I was part of the running group. But I know that when students travel overseas, a colleague of mine became a cheerleader when she went and studied abroad in the USA. So I guess what I'm getting at is, clubs and societies, when you travel to different places, COVID allowing, it's really a great way for you to break away from not the mundanities, but the common things that you've done. You can depart the well-trodden path. All right, so Hobart accommodation. There's all different, because there's that Launceston up north and there's Hobart down south. Students can really choose their accommodation. The general pricing is from 167 to 307 per week. There are all sorts of different options. So they include studios, shared apartments, dorms, residential colleges. So there's something for everyone. It's really take your pick. But yeah, there's also private accommodation, which is available. So depending on what you're into, if you're a mature age student, you want your privacy, or if you're used to dorm setups, then that's an option as well. So Launceston, north of the state, there are all sorts of different university accommodations available there as well. Generally speaking, they're upwards of $190 per week. So you can live on campus is what I'm getting at. Okay, that's I think a pretty key message to be driving home here. But yeah, options again include studios, shared apartments, or dorms. Likewise, private accommodation is always possible. Mumford, our university mascot, to have the pleasure of wearing that suit is something I wish upon everyone. It's a real experience. But there's a couple of students that studied with us back in the day, just having a good time. This slide, I think, talks to the on-campus support services. So all the different resources available to you as a student at UTAS. We don't want to set you up to fail. We want you to flourish and excel and do well and learn and enjoy and meet people. So from the top, there are international student advisors. So if you're homesick or if you're struggling with different cultural differences, you can go and speak to these people about any sort of issues, complaints, worries, concerns, whatever that come up. They're very personable and professional, and they'll be able to basically look after you. It's like a mum away from home or something like that. The student learning support, so that's a drop-in service where you can be like, hey, I don't know how to do my references. Can you help me out? MLA, Harvard, APA, all the different referencing systems can be difficult and different when you come to Tassie, because it might be different at your university. So there's different sort of services to help you with your academics. Personal counselling, if you're really experiencing some hardship, if there's some sort of trauma or some life-threatening situation, or if you're just anxious, these sorts of things, do pop up from time to time. We have personal counsellors on site who you can drop in, schedule an emergency meeting, basically there to look after you and make you feel comfortable and welcome. UTAS Life, which is where I think it's a UTAS event. But UTAS Life, they have free food on campus and run events and run orientation activities. So again, UTAS is just the University of Tasmania, and it's just life. So it's absolutely everything that bundles into what is life? All sorts of different activities, fun events, different engagement activities, and free food is a good way to see it. Get the free stuff. So they run some great events throughout the semester just to keep you, don't want you getting lost in the books too much. There's also spiritual and pastoral care. There are prayer rooms on campus, things like that. I think pastoral care, that's a big part of what I do. When students do come and arrive in Tasmania, I'm also, I suppose, the friendly face to look after students from day dot. So again, I'm here if you have any questions, obviously, and if and when you arrive in Tassie, I'll be your guy, your first port of call. We've also got health and disability advisors. So some students have, special requirements or needs, and that's something that you can flag up in your application form to UTAS. And basically we can make those arrangements. If you need wheelchair access to your accommodation, bing, bang, bong, I'm the guy that joins the dots, but eventually, or essentially rather, the disability advisors will be able to make an assessment of your case and help you out at the end of the day. That's just what we're here to do. So how to apply and program costs. Now this is I don't want this to be too mind-numbing, but it's a simple process, right? I think it's 5 steps. So we've got nomination, right? So from a home university, we just want them saying, hey, this is a good student. They're coming and studying with you. You put an application to UTAS. It's pretty self-explanatory. Once you put in your application, we'll send you an offer letter and you accept. After you accept, you make a payment and then you'll get your visa. Okay, so it's a simple 5-step, bing, bang, bong. I've said it already, but it's 5 steps. And I think that's really it. It's in summary. So that's how you get in contact with me in the office, the Study Abroad and Exchange Office, Student Mobility, to help you get out there and experience the world as a part of your degree. Hopefully this has been engaging and fun. I'll leave it there, but if you have any questions, feel free to reach out through the fair or through the email address that you can see on the slides. Thank you again for your time. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.